welcome to this amazing platform. I am Shruti, your French trainer. In today's session, we will learn about present tense, how to conjugate it, and we will also do few questions in order to understand the concept of present tense better. So, let's get started. Now, it says, the present tense in French corresponds to the English simple present. I hope that this sentence is crystal clear to you. Now, we have some examples of present tense. So, this example is very different from example number 2. It says, je travaille. That is, I work or I am working. It says, il est toujours en retard. That is, he is always late or he is getting late. This is the verb être and this is travail. The verb travailler is conjugated in present tense. We will now go further and understand how to conjugate the present tense. But before understanding and learning the rules to conjugate the present tense, let's know that in French there are 3 groups of verbs. I'm writing down here. ER group of verbs, IR group of verbs and RE group of verbs. For ER group of verbs, in most of the cases we remove R and we add the endings. And we do follow the same rules here. We remove R, we remove E. However, in most of the verbs, we add S here and sometimes we do add T and sometimes we do add S. However, French is a language of exceptions. So, we have to learn those exceptions. Now, it says, we add these specific endings to the infinitive verb. What is infinitive verb? In simple words, I will tell you that infinitive verbs are those verbs that are in its natural state. That is, they are not conjugated in any tense. Now, so we have to add these specific endings. What are our specific endings? Here we have our specific endings. E, es, e, ons, ez, ent with the infinitive verb. So, e you will write or you will conjugate this e with the je, subject je, this with tu, this with il, elle, this with nous, this with vous and this with il, elle in plural. Now, here we have 3 different examples. Example number 1. So, this is je chante. According to the rule, we have taken the infinitive form of the verb and we have removed its endings and we have added these terminaisons. So, terminaisons are also called endings. So, with je, we have written e. Now, je chante means I sing. Now, second example, tu finis, which means you finish or you are finishing. So, this group of verb belongs with the IR group of verb. And let's write down its infinitive form of the verb. So, it is finir. So, it is ending with R. Now, I told you that what we have to do for IR group of verbs, we have to remove R and we have to add the ending S. I know that it is this ending is not equal. This ending is not equal with this group of the verb. So you have to learn its endings and you have to learn how to conjugate the verb finir. Now, here the third example, il vit. Again, so let's take its infinitive form of the verb. So it is V-I-V-R-E. So it is vivre. That means to live. Il vit means he lives or he is living. Now, this belongs to third group of verb, that is RE group of verb. As we all know that in most of the cases, we remove this E, we remove this R sometimes, and we add the endings. So this is, we can say, an exception verb. You have to learn its conjugations. I hope that how to conjugate the present tense is clear to you. Now, let's move further and important. So, there are 2 points which are very important. A future action that is already planned, okay, already planned or agreed upon. Now, you can also use present tense if your actions or future actions are already planned. For example, so here we have an example. It says, mardi prochain à 14h, son équipe a un match important. So it means the next Tuesday or the coming Tuesday at 2 p.m. his team has a very important match. So did you see how this action, this action is future action, but it is already planned and they have used here present tense. So this is un match important. So here they have used the verb avoir in order to write a present tense and in order to talk about future action in present time. Now, the duration of actions that started in the past, all right, and are going in the present, ongoing. So I have highlighted started in the past and ongoing in the present. I hope that this is clear to you. So here we have an example. Il joue au football depuis 5 ans. Let's highlight this, depuis. Why this sentence is a good example of this statement, that is, the action that started in the past is being continued in the present tense, because we have used here depuis. So depuis means since. Now this sentence means he plays football since 5 years. So he started 5 years ago and he is still playing football in the present time. I hope that these 2 points are clear to you. Now let's move further. So some of the verbs in present tense. Now going back, here we have how to conjugate in the present tense the verbs. So here we will see some of the conjugations, some of the verbs conjugated in present tense. Now for ER group of verb, I have taken aimer. Aimer means to love and to like. Now we had these endings. Let's read these endings or terminaison. E, es, e, ons, ez, ent. Now let's go back at this table. So ER group of verbs. Aimer, this is our infinitive verb. I'm just writing down here IV, infinitive verb. I have conjugated this verb. Could you see? I have conjugated this verb into present tense. J'aime, tu aimes, il aime, elle aime. Nous aimons, vous aimez, il aime, elle aime. Now, E, we have the endings here. S, es, we have the endings here. E, we have again the ending. ONS, again the endings. EZ, endings. ENT, endings. Now, let's move further. Now, here we have IR group of verbs. I have taken the verb finir. I know that the endings here do not correspond to the endings that we read here. E, es, e, ons, ez, ent. So, that's why you are obliged to learn its endings or its conjugation. So, finir means to finish, like I finish my work or I am finishing my work. For example, je finis, so this is a different ending. Is, tu finis, again a different ending. Il, elle, finir, again different endings. Nous finissons, vous finissez, il, elle, finis. Could you see the endings here? So, I finish, you finish, He finishes, she finishes, we are finishing, you are finishing, they are finishing. I hope that this is again clear to you. Now, the third group of the verbs, that is RE verbs. So here I have taken vivre. Vivre means to live. So this is, let me write it down here, IV, infinitive form of the verb, and I have conjugated here in present tense. So you have to learn it. Je vis, IS, tu vis, IS, elle vit, he lives or she lives. Nous vivons, ONS. Vous vivez, EZ. Elle vive, ENT. So, I live, you live, he lives, she lives, we are living, you are living, they are living. Now, there are some irregular groups of verbs. I have mentioned only 4. However, there are plenty of irregular verbs that you have to learn it. You cannot follow the same rule, that is, you will remove the R and you will add the endings, that is E, ES and so on. For these irregular groups of verbs, you have to learn them. Now, être means to be, avoir means to have, aller means to go, faire means to do. Je suis, I am. Tu es, you are. Il est, elle est. He is, she is. Nous sommes, we are. Vous êtes, you are. Ils, elles sont, they are. Avoir, j'ai, I have. Tu as, you have. Il a, elle a. He has, she has. Nous avons, we have. Vous avez, you have. Ils ont, elles ont, they have. Now, aller. Je vais, I go. Tu vas, you go. Il va, elle va. He goes, she goes. Nous allons, we are going. Vous allez, you are going. Ils vont, elles vont. They are going. Now here we have faire. Je fais. Faire means to do. So je fais, I do. Tu fais, you do. Il fait, elle fait. He is doing, she is doing. Nous faisons, we are doing. Vous faites, you are doing. And ils font, elles font. They are doing. I hope that present tense is clear to you and you know how to conjugate the 3 forms of the verbs. You also know the irregular verbs. For example, être, avoir, aller, faire. Now, exercise time. So, here we have this question. It says, do we need to use avoir or être? Let's go back. Here you have the conjugation of être and avoir. So, choose the correct form. There are 5 questions. Please pause the video and fill in the blanks. Write the correct form, whether you need avoir in this or être in this. Please do it and you can pause the video for a few minutes and complete your answers. So that was all for today. I would say merci beaucoup.